Hey y'all, that's your YouTube girl. Okay, watch. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And ring that bell so you never missed another post. Alright, let me get serious. Let me get back to business. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about something that is very important that not enough people talk about or are knowledgeable about. And today, oh, that scared me. Today I will be talking about post-grad depression. Woo! Yes. So post-grad depression is kind of like feeling depressed about the pressures of life after graduating college. I'm sure that post-grad depression could be correlated with high school graduation as well, especially during the time that we're in now, is having a pandemic and a lot of other current events that are going crazy right now in the world. So I'm sure that high school students can sometimes and maybe will feel post-grad depression from graduating high school, but it's more so associated with college graduates. There are many different factors that can lead to post-grad depression, and they include things such as moving away, lack of connections and communications amongst your support system, friends, family, not finding a job as soon as you like, or not finding a job that you're most pleased with as soon as you graduate, and even just the transition from, like I said, being a college student to a working adult. There's a lot of different factors that can add on to post-grad depression. Those were just a few that I named. How do I know if I have post-grad depression? So there's not too many studies or too much scientific information out there on the web about it, but some symptoms are feelings of loneliness, feelings of sadness, lack of motivation or interest in things that usually you find pleasurable, sense of hopelessness, and the list goes on. It's kind of similar to the symptoms of having depression, just things that will probably be more common amongst people who are transitioning. First, I do want to start by saying don't feel crazy, and definitely don't feel weird if you do feel like you have post-grad depression. It's definitely something that is 100% normal. I personally think that most people who graduate have some form of post-grad depression or sadness after graduating, because the transition is pretty tough. I also want to say, don't hide it, embrace it. It doesn't mean you have to tell the whole world or everybody online on your social media, hey, I have post-grad depression. But to those people who you consider your support system or your friendship groups, you want to reach out to people to let them know what's going on with you, because nobody can offer you support or aid if they don't know how you're feeling or what you're going through. Be patient. You know, at the end of the day, the degree was not built overnight. Even though those 4 years flew by, it was still 4 years that it took for you to get that degree. So basically, in this video today, what I will be doing is giving you advice and tips on how to cope with post-grad depression and how to be a little bit more successful within your job search. I personally had post-grad depression after I graduated. These are tips and tricks that I wish I would have knew beforehand. Ways I think people can cope is to definitely, number one, go to therapy and reaching out to your support system. Definitely being able to express how you feel during a time like this and getting feedback. Some people may have dealt with this before or are dealing with it currently, and it can help to know that there's somebody out there who feels the same way you feel or understands how you feel, so that you don't feel alone. Second thing is to practice mindfulness. So mindfulness is basically just understanding your state of being. So practicing mindfulness can go anywhere from meditating to showing gratitude, affirming things, different ways to practice mindfulness. Just being aware of your state of being. So if you know that you are feeling sad, being aware that I feel sad in this moment, so that you can make a change to feel better. The next thing is practicing Self-care. I know a lot of the times when we are sad or depressed, it is hard to keep up with ourselves because we're so worried about our problems. Washing our hair maybe, or getting our toes and fingernails done, or just doing our daily face skincare routine. We just sometimes sulk in our misery that we forget to take care of ourselves. So definitely make sure you're taking care of yourself. The next thing is to stay off of social media. That is a big one, and that was a big one for me personally. I found myself always being on social media because I felt like I had nothing else to do, honestly. What I found myself doing was comparing myself to other people. You see your peers who went to college with you, who graduated at the same time with you, posting about how they're just so happy about the things that's going on in their life and whatnot. Then you think about your life and you're like, why isn't this working for me? Why isn't this happening for me? Or whatever the case may be. So definitely staying off of social media as much as possible. That doesn't mean don't post at all or don't get on social media. It just means, take a break when needed. Try not to compare yourself. Try to find things that can be a little bit more of more value with your time than just sitting on social media all day, because it is very draining. The next thing is to engage in your hobbies or learn some new hobbies. Doing things that you love always can take your mind off of the many stressors of your life. So try to do things that are going to engage your mind, engage your body, engage your heart. Something that I love to do is writing. So a lot of the times I would write a song that would just help me kind of, take my mind off of the things that were bothering me at the moment. So these two kind of go together, but this is something that I also found very helpful, is to practice manifestation and keeping in touch with your higher power. That is kind of what guided me through my whole journey of post-grad depression. I definitely read the Bible a lot more. I prayed a lot more. Practicing manifestation really helped. Manifestation is very real. Look into it, research it, see what it's all about. So the next thing I want to talk about is some tips for your job search. I know that when you graduate with your bachelor's, it's very easy to have higher expectations of the types of jobs that will be offered to you or available to you, because now you have a higher certification in your field. So you may feel like, well, now that I have a bachelor, I know that any job I apply to, I'm most likely going to get a call back for because I have a bachelor's. And that is definitely highly false. Although I do agree that having a bachelor's does open up the opportunities for you. A lot of jobs are looking for experience, bachelor's and experience. So the part that is kind of the sucky part is the experience. A lot of the times we don't get as much experience as we could have if we weren't in school for 4 years, because we just have so many other things while we're in school to focus on that we don't really look into getting as much experience as we could for our future jobs. So definitely want to promote doing internships or volunteering at different companies and organizations that will help you further get experience in the field that you want to work in. So if you just graduated and have not been able to find a job in your field, try to volunteer at an organization that may have different positions or different opportunities for you to learn skills that could be beneficial to the field that you want to work in. That would be pretty helpful. Do your research. Definitely scope out the jobs that you're looking for. Research the companies. See if there's anything about the company that you don't like, or all the things about the company that you do like. Understand the responsibilities of the position that you're applying for. Don't just apply because you just want a job. Apply because you really think that this is something that you're skilled in, something that you think you could prevail in, and something that you think lines up with your values about what type of position and company you want to work for, or what type of field you want to be in, period. Another thing that I found very helpful is to follow up with the jobs you interviewed with. So when I first started doing my job search, I was not following up at all. I was getting calls back, but After my interviews, I wasn't following up, and because of that, I felt like I had a less likely or chance to get a second call back to come back in or start the job because I wasn't following up with the job. So definitely follow up every time you have an interview, every time you have just a conversation about setting up an interview. Always follow up as much as you can to make sure that they see your name, they know your name, and they know that you're persistent. Be specific. Try to be as detailed and specific as possible about the types of jobs that you're looking for. If you're applying to all these different types of jobs, all of these different types of jobs are going to come back to you. It will be overwhelming when you're getting calls back on which position to pick because they're all so different. So try to be as specific as you can so that it makes it less difficult and less overwhelming when making a choice. Weigh out your pros and cons. So when applying for different positions, don't automatically say no to a position because this position doesn't make as much money as I would like. You have to start somewhere, and it may not always be where you want to start at, but you have to start somewhere. And if money is the highest value to you and that con outweighs the pros, then fine. Make sure you're not settling for something you absolutely would hate so that you're not, not putting your full effort and energy towards the position. The next thing I would say is to use all search engines. There's not one search engine that is better than the next. All search engines have different positions on there. Some positions are on multiple search engines. So use every resource that you can. There's LinkedIn, Indeed, Snapjob, Higher Ed Jobs, Aerotech, Robert Half, ZipRecruiter. There's so many. Just Google it. You don't have to make a profile for every single search engine, but it is a good idea to think about that. Going into that, updating your resume and your profiles. So whatever you use for professionalism, try to make sure that they're as updated as possible so that when people are doing their research on you, they see everything that you've done. When they are ready to call you back, there's nothing new that you have to say. Everything is already there. It kind of helps the process speed up just a little bit more. You don't have to believe in manifestation, but I think that it's something that definitely helps your mindset as well as your search. So just positive thinking is very helpful. Just looking at everything in more of a positive light than a negative light. And that doesn't mean that you will always see everything to be positive, but trying to find the positive in negative situations can be helpful to change how you feel about them. I also want to stress the 3 things that I focused on the most while I was going through post-grad depression, and they were consistency, persistency. I don't know if persistency is the word, so I'm going to say persistence, and patience. So basically being consistent in everything that you do, making your job search a daily part of your routine. So I personally was applying to 10 jobs a day. That was my number. My number was 10. Every day I applied to 10 jobs. That was me being consistent in the things that I do. Persistent was following up, always making sure to call, email, check my emails all the time, do whatever I got to do to show them that I'm here because I want to be here and I want this position. And then patience. Everything doesn't happen overnight. Just be patient with yourself. If you need to take a break, if you need a day off, that is perfectly fine. Be patient with other people because other people are going through things that we may not know about. Learn to just be humble and, make the best out of all situations. I really hope this video was as helpful as it could be, and I hope that you gained something from this. I am happy to answer questions, and I'll be back at y'all with another one.